little boys' room break. Yung katanungan kung bakit hindi pumila ng kaso dito sa Pilipinas imbes na ICC pagkat ayaw nating tanggapin yung pag-aamin na hindi na talaga umaandar ang korte rito, wala nang bisa ang mga huwes at wala nang pakinabang ang mga abogado. Hindi naman yata katanggap-tanggap yun. Pero kung maaari, yung SOJ, bigyan kami ng listahan ng mga kaso. Ang huli na lang po, yung Article 59 of the Rome Statute, lahat ng tao naging expert na natin dyan. Yung pag-aamin, anong hindi na talaga masasabi natin tungkol sa applicability. So talagang yung Rome Statute does not apply kasi hindi na nga tayo party there too, sabi ng DFA. And may pang-ministers kaya tanong case pa. So huli na lang po, yung Article 59 of the Rome Statute ito. Is it legally binding? Is it legally binding? Nag-a-apply pa ba ang Article 59, lalo na yung first paragraph, na ginagamit ang pangalan state parties Samantalang sa second paragraph, which provides for the right to be brought before local courts, ang sinasabi, hindi state parties, kundi custodial state. So, ibig sabihin, very liberal ang construction in favor of the accused. Pwede sa sarili niyang bansa o kung saan man siya dinala. Di ba? Tama po yun? Applicable ba to sa kaso ni Presidente Duterte?
Hindi na ho natin kinikilala ang ICC eh. Hindi na ho tayo kasama sa ICC. Kaya hindi tayo saklaw ng kanyang mga probisyon. Ang amin pong ginamit na batas dito ay Republic Act 9851. Yung po yung international
Paulit-ulit
humanitarian
naman
law.
tayo dyan sa RA 9851 sa Section 17. Kaya lang, ang gobyerno, paulit-ulit na sinasabi na meron tayong obligasyon na tumulong kahit hindi na tayo membro. Kaya nalilito ako, member tayo, tumutulong tayo, pero hindi applicable yung Article 59. Ano ba talaga? Are we or aren't we?
Yun nga ho ang yung pagkakaiba ng pagpaningin natin. Kasi ang tingin ko po, ang mahalaga sa atin ngayon yung domestic law natin. Ngayon, dahil ang ICC ay humingi ng tulong sa Interpol, nangyari po ang lahat.
Ang liwanag po ng Interpol, sinabi ng Interpol, hindi wanted si Presidente Duterte ng Interpol, wanted ng ICC, sila lang ang ginamit na kasangkapan.
Ganun nga ho yun, ganun pa rin. Pero,
hindi ganun yun, pagkaiba. Kasi kung minsan, maraming wanted talaga sa Interpol.
Opo.
Ang pinakamatindi dito sa Pilipinas, yung child pornography, very active po ako dyan, kaya kabisado ko. Kaya nagtataka po ako, hindi naman siya wanted sa Interpol. Eh, Interpol tayo ng Interpol, tapos hindi tayo bahagi ng ICC. Ba't nagkaganto?
Hindi naman ho kami nag-withdraw sa ICC ang Pangulong Duterte po. Kaya hindi na tayo kabahagi ng ICC.
Wala namang kinalaman doon. Hindi ini-invoke kasi ninyo yung ICC at yung Interpol. Eh, samantala nga, hindi na nga.
Actually, ang talaga hong ini-invoke namin, Republic Act 9851.
Okay? At ang liwaliwanag naman, miski sa 9851, sa last sentence, must be pursuant to applicable extradition laws. Hindi ba? Ang liwanag.
Opo, last yan. Last sentence po yan. Pero mahaba pa yung paragraph bago dumating yan.
Hong Kong Special Admin, di ba, sa Hong Kong SAR versus Olalia, ang liwaliwanag niyan, di ba, kinilala talaga ang right for bail nung arestado at accused. Pareho naman to ng Article 59, kasi yung arrested person has a right to apply for interim release. Di pareho rin yun. In effect, dun sa ating mga korte, nagruling sila na halos eksakto ang epekto sa Article 59.
Yan po, bahala na po ang ICC dyan. Hindi na ho namin makokontrol.
Ako, ICC na naman.
Andun po kasi ang Pangulo eh. Ang dating Pangulo ay nasa ICC po. Kaya kung meron ho nang gusto ng provisional liberty, doon ho sila mag-a-apply. Wala na ho kami magagawa doon. In fact, ito hong pinag-uusapan natin, subjudice na naman po ito. Yan ang mga problema dito.
So yung binabanggit na liberty of abode ni Attorney Medina kanina sa ating konstitusyon, wala nang aplikasyon.
Yan po, pero sa akin ang tingin ko po sa liberty of abode na yun, parang that's the rule of search warrants eh. Yun po yung aking nakikitang konteksto nun.
Palagay ko hindi naman limitado doon, ano? Anyway, siguro para lang makapag-aral kami ng gusto sa susunod, baka naman makapagbigay kayo ng 2 o 3 pang mga Pilipino na inaresto ng ating pamahalaan na walang warrant of arrest, tapos dinala sa ibang bansa na wala namang court order na galing dito.
Marami ho yan. Ito po yung mga foreigners, karamihan po. Hindi pa mga Pilipino.
Hindi, tinatanong ko po yung Filipino citizen. Kasi syempre yung foreigner...
Ito po, this is a case of first impression. Hindi pa ho nangyayari ito. But I have to posit that it is a case of first impression. Hindi pa ho nangyayari ito sa kasaysayan natin.
Kaya nalilito po kami kasi yung DOJ dati talagang pinagpipilitan na nag-comply sa Article 59. Ngayon, sinasabi na hindi na kailangan na dalhin sa local authorities at Parang yung DOJ, may sinasabi na halos judge na kayo. Paano naman nangyari nagkaroon ng judicial powers?
Yun po yung binigay sa atin na options ng batas, 9851, Section 17 po.
Palagay ko hindi tama yun kasi Attorney Medina, talaga bang DOJ was vested by the Constitution with judicial power? Kailan naman po nangyari yun? Sa bahagi ng ating saligang batas naging huwes ang ating DOJ?
Wala kaming claim to judicial power. Dito po, executive action po ang namin ginawa. In accordance with Section 17.
Pero hindi nga po
Article
alien eh.
9851.
Hindi nga pwedeng isurrender kasi hindi nga alien. Pilipino man siya.
Hindi ho, malinaw. Gusto basahin ko ulit for the record. Para
Alam na
malinaw po sa
natin
ating
yun.
lahat.
Oo.
Kasi
Baka naman si Attorney
baka minsan baka nalilimutan natin yung mga nasa saklaw ng batas eh. Papasahin ko po muli.
Hindi. Alam ko na yun. Oo. Yes, please, Attorney Medina, may idadagdag kayo. Hindi ba yung Constitution, wala naman judicial power? Kaya pinagpipilitan natin na bumalik sa korte.
I'll be consistent with my previous opinion, Your Honor. The right to liberty can only be, the deprivation of the right to liberty can only be adjudged by a court of law. Now, even assuming that executive officials would have the power to make a final adjudication on the right to liberty of an individual, at the very least, that individual whose right to liberty is at risk should still be accorded administrative due process at the very least, which means still notice, opportunity to be heard, and a decision by an impartial tribunal. So the fusion, what the Constitution wants to prevent is the fusion of executive and judicial power in the hands of one person. One American constitutional expert declared that as a form of tyranny. So I'm not casting aspersion on the actions of the executive officials involved. I'm sure they consider the legality, and I'm sure they're willing to present clear legal basis for their actions. It's a matter for the courts to settle po. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat, Attorney. Ang tinutukoy ko, SOJ Remulla, etong sinabi ni ASEC Nico Clavano, March 13, sinabi niya the Justice Department and the prosecutors can be considered competent judicial authority. Hindi po kayo nagsabi nito, kundi prosecutors were present during the service of the warrant and somehow they magically turned into the judiciary.
Then, if that is your opinion, ma'am, I will
It's not
respect
my
your
opinion. I'm just quoting the statement derived from your spokesman, sir.
I'm sure that that was meant in a figurative manner, ma'am. It's not meant literally.
Ipapatuloy ko, kapag sinabi natin na kailangan padalhin sa korte dahil siya ay mag-a-attest, yung judge naman po, wala naman doon. Hindi naman niya na-witness yung pag-serve ng warrant hanggang sa pagbasa ng Miranda rights. So sabi niya, yung complementarity, hindi naman na importante until such time as the state is unwilling or unable to prosecute the same crime. So parang naging judge na rin yung SOJ. Papayag ba kayo ng ganon? Yun lang ang tanong.
Hindi po yun ang aming gustong sabihin dito. Yun po mga salitang ginamit lamang dahil sa sitwasyon ng pinag-uusapan. Ngunit wala akong intensyon na sabihin kami po ay hukuman. Hindi po kami hukuman.
Maraming salamat sa paliwanag dahil lihis ito sa sinabi ninyo ng budget hearing noong nakaraan na taon na hindi judicial authority ang SOJ. Hindi katulad ng sinabi ng spokesman ninyo, kundi kinakailangan bumalik at bumalik pa rin sa korte na Pilipino dito sa ating bansa. Maraming salamat. Wala na po akong tanong at napakahaba na po ng hearing. Nagpapaumanhin ako sa inyong lahat. This hearing of the Committee on Foreign Relations is hereby suspended. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng cabinet member na nagbigay ng panahon para sa atin. Maraming salamat po.
Nag-sink in na po ba sa dating Pangulo na nandito na talaga siya sa ICC? Pasensya na po dahil before, di ba sinasabi po niya, sipain ko pa yung ICC, hindi talaga ako papahuli ng buhay.
Sabi niya, wala din naman daw siyang ginagawa sa labas kasi hindi pa naman daw siya mayor. So might as well tumira daw muna siya sa loob.
So may na po siya, parang routine na po siya.
So he can still make it,
Is he enjoying?
Oh, I have to tell you, he's charming that everyone inside.
Paano po? Paano po?
Paano?
Marami na po
It's
siya
style,
nakakausap.
Alam ko.
Marami na po siya nakakausap na ibang detainee.
Like, ano po na-witness nyo?
He's very friendly with people inside. So, meron na silang banter eh. So,
Nakita niyo mismo
may
yung
exchange na sila. No, hindi kami allowed. Doon lang kami sa visitors center. So sabi niya, wala din naman siyang ginagawa pa because he's at the moment retired. Wala pang election, so hindi pa siya mayor. So he might as well just stay inside. And then he said that he doesn't regret anything that he did sa pagtatrabaho niya para sa bayan. At nakita naman daw ng bayan kung ano yung resulta ng kanyang serbisyo para sa bayan.
VP, how's your visitation? Do you have to apply every single time you apply? You come? Matagal ba yung, ano yung proseso?
It's online. It's online. So, every time na kailangan ko pumunta doon para magpaabot ng mensahe sa kanya, pinapasok ko siya online, sinasubmit ko, and then nagre-respond sila. And then, siya yung nagsasabi yes or no. So, I tried to limit kung sino yung pwedeng pumasok sa kanya. But apparently, ang rules nila dito ay yung detainee ang magsasabi ng yes or no. You apply, and then he'll say yes or no.
Kasi Attorney Harry said you wanted sana a delay.
Yes. So,
Ano
nag-apply.
pangyayari?
Ang application ko last time was Friday until Tuesday. Ngayon, so I was given Tuesday, and then mag-submit na naman ako ng bago.
So Tuesday na naman until yung
Well,
panibagong.
right now, I'm thinking kung hanggang kailan ako nandito, yun na rin yung i-apply ko para hindi na rin sila mabombard ng everyday na submission. Yeah, so kanina, doon, while we were talking, biglang may dumating na letter. So apparently, pwede palang magpadala ng letter sa loob. So, marami sa ating mga kababayan ang gusto magpaabot sa kanya ng mensahe nila. Tinanong ko doon sa loob paanong nangyari na nakatanggap siya ng sulat galing sa isang Dutch couple, dito sa The Hague. So, i-address nyo lang daw sa kanila. Okay. Babasahin nila yung sulat ninyo kapag nakita nila na walang problema sa sulat.
Nothing incriminating.
Oo, sila yung mag-check kung ano yung pwede at hindi. At kung sinasabi nila sa loob na pwede, ibibigay nila doon sa kanya.
Meron na po bang mga iba pang family members na pupunta para kumbisita dito ang lahat ng Pangulo?
Pinag-usapan namin sa loob ni Pangulong Duterte. Sabi niya kasi huwag na papuntahin dito yung mga kapatid ko. Kasi unmarried si President Duterte. So he's single. So ang next of kin niya is kaming mga anak. At sabi niya na huwag na pumunta dito dahil wala naman daw silang gagawin dito unless gusto daw nilang sumama doon.
So, baby.
Susundin niyo po yun?
Sumama.
Hindi lang tanong. Ay, pwede mo tanong, Vicky.
Yes, ma'am. Opo.
Ano sa kamakaano? Dili sa ka or muli na kang Pilipinas?
Ako ay lang sang isahon ang mga abogado, i-meeting na ko sila. Magsabot mi kung unsay buhaton. Pagkahuman, kinahanglan ako muuli sa
Okay, salamat.
Madali na nagtatanong namin si tatay. Pwede daw mga pagpadala ng pagkain sa loob.
Iyan ang hindi ko natanong sa loob. Baka pwede nilang tanungin, pero top of mind answer ko, ma'am, baka hindi yan sila pumayag kasi it's a security risk. They will answer for whatever will happen to the former president inside the detention.
Tuloy po yung pagiging mayor ni
Oh yes, yes. He's looking forward actually na
Pinagtira ni Ronald
mayor. Kaya nga sabi niya kanina sabi niya, hindi pa naman ako mayor, so dito lang muna ako.
So hindi po yun maapektuhan, yung kanyang candidacy of him being here?
Oh, he's only an accused, and an accused is presumed innocent until proven guilty. So, masyado pa tayong malayo doon sa he's a convict.
So the target is to bring him home before the elections.
The target is to bring him home today, pero as we all know, it takes a lot of paperwork.
Pero nga, kadalang BP, ma-after ba siya, September, sayang last year.
Wala. Dili pa pumunta to wag-ana karon. Dili mo ganahan nga din siya sa inyo, ha? At taga-Sweden ka sa pambalhinon sa Anatos.
Kita ko sa live.
Yes, ma'am.
That is true. Ba't ka sa Philippines? Until they put him in the plane.
Oo.
Illegal, ma'am.
Tinuod na siya, ma'am.
Kidnap siya, ma'am. Why we cannot do the ICC that it's illegal. The Article 59 of accused ICC don't statute.
Opo, tinuod na
So,
siya,
ma'am,
ma'am.
dili man ang naikuhan.
We will bring that up in the proper time.
Naatay video, ma'am, i-confine na mo.
Oh, salamat. Salamat. Kay kinahanglan po na ma'am, kinahanglan na sa mga abogado.
Ma'am, linawin ko lang po yung tungkol dun sa yung pagpunta-punta po niya sa clinic. Yung minomonitor po on a daily basis po ba, regularly, yung kanyang health. Kailangan po ba niyang lumipat sa clinic to be able to do that? Or pupuntahan po siya sa sarili niyang cell?
Nandun siya sa hospital part ng detention facility. So, lahat sila doon, detainee patient.
So meron po
Patient detainee.
So nandun pa po muna siya, hindi yung talagang nakaseparate siya.
Nakarating po sa kanya yung medicine sa pinadala.
Binigyan ng copy ng records ang mga doctors doon sa a list of medicines and alam naman ng mga doctors yun sa loob.
Yung dia po ay kumusta naman po?
Hindi ko pa alam Kailangan ko siya puntahan ngayon sa hospital. So pagkatapos natin dito ngayon, pupuntahan ko siya.
Sorry, one last. Gusto ko lang po malinawan. Yung very friendly siya sa loob. Yung mga guards, wardens, or yung mga kapwa detainee po ba yung nat-charm niya?
Hindi ata sila nakikita ng mga kapwa detainee niya kasi may kanya-kanya silang kwarto. So isang detainee lang per room. Yun ang pagkakaalam ko ha. Hindi ko lang alam if they see each other somewhere sa hallway or sa ewan ko saan sila kumakain. Yun ang hindi ko alam.
So the place where he is specifically is still like a cell pero nasa hospital part? Or is it a clinic? Or can you just describe it, ma'am?
Hindi ko nakita. Ang
Pero
kanyang
yung sinabi po niya
quarters.
sa inyo na parang clinic part po ba yun? Hospital part? Or yung pinakikita po sa ICC website na cell ng bawat detainee?
Ang sinabi niya sa akin, ang sinabi niya sa akin, para akong nasa hotel, except that hindi
Except that,
hindi ako nakalabas.
Sige, halingan ako.
Ma'am, huwag lang natin sabayan para marinig po.
Nag-sink in na po sa kanya yung nangyari. Na, kasi pag uwi niya po from Hong Kong, parang bilis po ng lahat ng mga bagay-bagay eh.
Alam naman niya, oo, sinabi naman niya na haharapin ko ito. And I do not regret. I do not regret anything that I did sa aking paglilingkod sa bayan.
Ano po clarify po?
Ano daw pinaka-namimiss niya?
Hindi ko...
Sinabi naman niya ES din, ano?
Sa girlfriend atay.
Okay.
And then,
Kasi parang birthday rally niya rin po yun.
So 23...
Saka birthday po niya. Birthday.
Yes, sinabi ko sa kanya, aware na siya sa 23. And then, nagsabi siya na nagpapasalamat siya sa suporta na pinapakita ng mga kababayan. And ang isang concern lang niya is ayaw niya daw na makadisrupt tayo dito sa The Hague. So, isiguraduhin daw natin na kung ano man yung gagawin natin ay naka-coordinate daw sa LGU o sa policeman kung saan daw dapat mag-coordinate kasi ayaw niya daw na maka-disrupt tayo dito. Yan ang hindi ko alam, pero alam ng lahat ng ating mga parallel groups at lahat ng mga individuals na kababayan natin. They can contact Shaira Madrona sa Office of the Vice President. She's the vocal for March 10.
Para sa amin lang yung solid.
Nabanggit mo ba yan?
Madam, kasama po sa GIL Amsterdam po ang prayer namin para kay Tatay Lee.
Thank you, JIL.
Nabanggit po ba niya yung laman nung letter po from the Dutch?
Oh, yeah. Binabasa niya kasi sa akin. Kasi nagulat siya kung ano daw yon. Napakaganda kasi nung handwriting. Kasi napaisip siya. Tapos sabi ko, nagpaalam ako doon sa tao kung pwede ako ang humawak at magbasa. So, binasa ko sa kanya. They were saying that they were appalled of the detention and the kidnapping. And their saint daw, dito sa Netherlands, nakalimutan ko yung pangalan ng saint, was incarcerated as well in this very prison in 1932 and suffered the same fate as, suffered the same injustice as former President Rodrigo Duterte. And he did a Latin prayer. I think it was Peter. The Gospel of Peter. Pietro is Peter, no?
Yes.
And then sabi niya that may you be guided by the Lord Jesus Christ.
May reaction lang po kayo sa mga developments back home. Up to you.
Ano ba developments back then? Update niyo muna ako kasi hindi ko alam kung ano nangyayari doon eh.
Yung mga lista-lista, yung mga pangapangalan. Kung gusto niyo lang po sumagot.
Utang, lista na.
yung mga kasama daw nila Piatos daw. Opo. Yung mga Miggy Mango.
Yung sa impeachment ba? Ito ba yung walang kamatayang confidential funds na na-atake nila? Well, alam mo, hindi ko masagot yan eh because as we speak, hindi namin alam how they handle the chain of evidence talaga eh. Hindi natin alam kung yan ba nga talaga yung sinabi ng Office of the Vice President at this point. Hindi na natin alam.
Hindi po ba nagre-reklamo ngayon si former President Duterte? Kasi ang ginawa po ngayon dito, nararamdaman din po ba niya yung ginawa dun sa loob? Or comfortable po ba siya dun sa loob?
Comfortable.
Actually, mainit doon kasi hinugad mo doon.
Mainit talaga dito.
Controlled yung temperature sa loob kasi medyo nainitan ako at hinubad ko yung jacket ko.
Okay. Salamat.
Okay.
Salamat.
Sir, can you tell us what happened with Attorney Medialdea, if you have info?
I don't think it's appropriate for me to go into details concerning Anthony Bingbong's condition at the moment. It's an issue of medical privacy.
All right. Have you successfully...
Former President is in very good spirits, looking forward to conducting his defence.
Is he being monitored daily at the clinic?
He's being taken care of by the appropriate services.
Do you have like an initial plan on what next steps to take legally, sir?
On the first stage, the former President is composing his defence team. It will take a week and then we'll see where we move from there.
How many are you in the team, sir, if you may tell
At the
us?
present moment in time, I've just been appointed. It's my job and I'm privileged to carry this job out to compose a team for him. That will obviously be done in complete consultation with him and all those around him.
All right.
Who will compose the defense team?
And I'm at ability to comment on it at the moment.
Can we say that, have you been...
I was formally appointed as of yesterday.
Right, but has the ICC approved that?
By the ICC.
Yeah?
I believe that something might be introduced into the court system today.
All right, so what do we expect from here on, sir?
A strong defence.
Uh-huh.
Sir, are you confident that you will be able to bring back home former President Duterte?
I certainly hope so.
Do you have any petitions to file prior to the confirmation of charges hearing on September 23?
There will be petitions, obviously. Once again, it's not for me to comment on the defence strategy at this moment in time.
According to the rules, there is a process called disclosure of evidence. Has that started yet?
That should start once council's appointed, and as I said, it's early days yet.
All right, sir. Where are you headed now, sir? You've met with the Vice President Duterte as well.
Indeed, I have.
What was like any message that the first message that the president gave to you?
That he's in good spirits and looking forward to conducting his defense.
After, are you able to visit the former president?
I'm available to visit the former president as long as I'm here, as long as I'm allowed to do so. I have promised him that I will come every day that I'm in The Hague.
Do you have any information if the request of the Vice President to visit his father has already been approved?
I'm not at liberty to discuss matters like that.
Sir, finally, yesterday during a press conference by Attorney Harry Roque, he said that the president should decide on whether to take legal aid from the court or, fund it himself. Would you know what the decision
Again,
is?
I'm not at liberty to discuss matters of funding and how the defense will be composed.
All right, sir.
Thank you so
So for now, we can say that you are the only confirmed legal counsel for the ICC case.
Once again, that's subject to any publications that might be on the ICC website and the decision of the registry. Hopefully that will be completed by
Is
today.
there any reason why the president hasn't signed yet the nomination for Attorney Harry Roque and Attorney Medialdea?
As I told you, first things first. There is a need, first of all, for senior counsel to be appointed. A counsel who's experienced in matters at the ICC, and it's that counsel's job to compose the team. It's early days yet. No one is entitled to draw any conclusion whatsoever from what has been or hasn't been done with respect to nominations at this point in time.
All right. Thank you very much,
Okay.
sir. All right. Cases have you handled so far with the ICC?
Careful.
So sorry.
I've been involved in quite a few cases at the ICC.
Do you have an estimate how many?
I can't estimate. I've known quite a few people.
But you're very confident that the former president will be acquitted.
I'm very confident of the strongest defense possible, and I'm very confident that he will be acquitted, indeed, even at the earliest stage possible.
Can we
You won't wait for the September 23 confirmation of charges hearing anymore?
We will be filing all necessary applications in due course. I'm not prepared to comment on the defense strategy at this moment in time. Okay? Thank you very much.
Can you say you have over 10 cases? In the
cases?
ICC? Yeah?
10 cases is a bit generous. I don't think anyone's had 10 cases in this institution. I don't think this institution's even had a lawyer who's represented 10 people.
3?
I've represented more than 3 people in the course.
More than 3. Okay.
Question the form of arrest, Article 59 of the Rome Statute.
Once again.
The Article 59 of the Rome Statute, Attorney Harry Roque.
Yes, well, on that point, he was completely denied all his rights in the Philippines. That will obviously be a major argument in the course of his defense.
Gaano kahalaga ito?
Napakahalaga po kasi ako po ang presidente ng PDP Laban at nasa kalagitnaan po ng kampanya ang ating bansa. Political ally po ako. Ito pong ating Pangulo ay chairman ng isang political party. So siguro po nararapat lamang po na makausap ko yung aking chairman. Opo.
So wala pang balita kung anong sagot doon?
Malungkot po, lagi po ako dito. Yung Biyernes pa.
Oo.
Eh, wala pa po hanggang ngayon. Ngayon po sigurado wala pa kasi yung mukha ni ES mukhang malungkot.
What's the next step, Senator?
Bukas po ulit. Bukas po ulit. Umaasa naman po ako na itong mga naniniwala naman daw sila sa human rights. Hindi tingnan natin.
Gaano katagal po kayo dito? Kayo po ay senator, sitting senator.
Ay, break po kami. Break po ngayon. Ngayon po, siguro po ang tamang tanong, paano yung kampanya? Kaya po tayo nandito. Tatanong po tayo.
Pero right now,
na Pangulong Duterte kung ano po yung strategy. Siyempre, isa po lahat ito.
Pero right
Alam
now,
nyo, si Mayor, kaya ng isip niya to. Ang tanong natin, kaya ba ng katawan niya?
so ngayon, ang may tentative ano kayo kung hanggang anong panahon kayo dito? O wala pa, malabo lahat, up in the air?
Siguro mga 1 week pa. Hanggang birthday niya. Hindi pa naman kami, matagal pa naman ang resume. Kampanya, ang iniisip ko yung kampanya.
How is
kampanya. Yung session, tagal pa yun.
how is this affecting yung kampanya?
Well, sa usapin ng presence ni Mayor, sapol na sapol kami. Di ba yun nga, itatanong ko kay Mayor, paano ngayon yun? Kasi siya ang #1 crowd drawer namin. Pag sinabi mo andyan si Presidente, talagang ang tao dumadating kahit hindi bayad. Yun, paano ngayon yan? Wala naman kaming pera. Ang PDP, wala naman kaming pera.
Video.
How the Sige. Van Houten.
Duterte pa rin. Duterte.
Kamusta po si Presidente?
Yes, okay naman siya. Nakita kami ni former President Rodrigo Duterte sa loob. Nandoon pa rin siya sa loob ng hospital. So, hindi pa siguro siya all clear. Base siguro sa assessments ng doctors niya. He's in very good spirits. Meron siyang, tinanong ko siya kung kamusta yung pagkain. Sabi niya meron namang rice. And then, tinanong ko siya kung paano yung ulam. Sabi niya, half-half daw. So, hindi ko alam kung ano ibig sabihin ng half-half. Hiniling ko ako. Half-half.
Bisaya lang tayo, Bisaya.
VP,
Yes.
regarding the his legal team and his decision na sabi ni Attorney Roque, he has to decide on, has he made that decision?
Very very general lang ang pwede ko i-discuss about the legal team and the legal strategies and kung anong mga ways forward legally. Unang-una, his team is headed by Attorney Nicholas Kaufman. And then, meron pa akong mga kakausapin ng mga lawyers, no? Meron pang darating na isang abogado. I-interview ko siya para sumali sa team. And then, once maayos na yung team for ICC, mag-withdraw si Attorney Medialdea kasi meron lang limited na mga slots for lawyers. And we want all the lawyers on board na merong ICC experience.
So, ang ibig sabihin po ay pinili po ng ni Pangulong Duterte na legal aid. Kumbaga the court from the ICC
For own money.
for the councils. Kasi parang dalawa raw po yun. Either the court pays for the councils or it's the
Own money.
president.
Sa on that matter, no, it's best if you ask Nicholas Kaufman kung ano yung direction nila since siya yung lawyer and si former President Rodrigo Duterte yung client. So I am just here to assist President Duterte sa pag-create nung legal team kasi every time na pumapasok ako doon, pinapauwi na niya talaga ako.
Yung pa rin na
So,
sinasabi.
ano po sinabi niyo sa kanya dahil pinapauwi na po kayo?
Paulit-ulit kasi siya sa sinasabi niya na what are you doing here? Umuwi ka na ng Pilipinas. So, ayun, inaayos ko lang yung legal team. Meron na akong i-interview na isa pang lawyer.
Si Attorney Harry Roque po, hindi po kasama.
So far, hindi siya kasama sa legal team. Si
Maybe bakit po?
So, dalawa pa lang po. Yung potential na kakausapin pa lang, if ever.
Meron na kaming listahan, pero yung isa kasi darating siya dito.
So, puro foreign po.
Foreign po yun.
Yes, oo.
Ilan po kaya?
Kung ilan, you may have to ask Attorney Kaufman.
Bakit po hindi kasama si Atty. Roque?
Well, because hindi pa kasi na-establish kung ano yung basis ng pag-stay niya dito sa Netherlands. And we don't want complications ba. Gusto namin nakatutok talaga yung lawyers doon sa kaso. And right now, I heard applying for asylum, and he publicly announced that already. No? So we want him to focus on his asylum, and then we want our lawyers to focus on the case.
Yun po yung ginagamit yung basis din, no, to be able to get that asylum, sabi po niya.
So we can defend.
Former president.
Well, that is a matter that he has to discuss with former President Duterte, no? But right now, he's not nominated as a lawyer.
Nag-sink in na po ba sa dating Pangulo na nandito na talaga siya sa ICC? Pasensya na po dahil before, di ba, sinasabi po niya, sipain ko pa yung ICC, hindi talaga ako papahuli ng buhay.
Sabi niya, wala din naman daw siyang ginagawa sa labas kasi hindi pa naman daw siya mayor. So might as well tumirap daw muna siya sa loob.
So may na po siya, parang routine na po siya.
So he can still make it,
Is he enjoying?
Oh, I have to tell you, he's charming that everyone is
Paano po? Marami na po siya nakakausap. Marami na po siya nakakausap na ibang detainees.
Like, ano po na-witness nyo?
He's very friendly with people inside. So, meron na silang banter eh. So,
Nakita niyo mismo yung loob ng Pence?
No, hindi kami allowed. Doon lang kami sa visitors center. So sabi niya, wala din naman siyang ginagawa pa because he's at the moment retired. Wala pang election, so hindi pa siya mayor. So he might as well just stay inside. And then he said that he doesn't regret anything that he did sa pagtatrabaho niya para sa bayan. At nakita naman daw ng bayan kung ano yung resulta ng kanyang serbisyo para sa bayan.
VP, how's your visitation? Do you have to apply every single time you apply? You come? Matagal ba yung, ano yung proseso?
It's online. It's online. So, every time na kailangan ko pumunta doon para mapaabot ng mensahe sa kanya, pinapasok ko siya online, sinasubmit ko, and then nagre-respond sila. And then, siya yung nagsasabi yes or no. So, I tried to limit kung sino yung pwedeng pumasok sa kanya. But apparently, ang rules nila dito ay yung detainee ang magsasabi ng yes or no. You apply, and then he'll say yes or no.
Kasi Attorney Harry said you wanted sana a daily.
Yes. So, nag-apply. Ang application ko last time was Friday until Tuesday. Ngayon, so I was given Tuesday, and then mag-submit na naman ako ng bago.
So, Tuesday na naman until yung panibagong.
Well, right now, I'm thinking kung hanggang kailan ako nandito, yun na rin yung i-apply ko para hindi na rin sila mabombard ng everyday na submission. Yeah, so kanina, doon, while we were talking, biglang may dumating na letter. So apparently, pwede palang magpadala ng letter sa loob. So, marami sa ating mga kababayan ang gusto mapaabot sa kanya ng mensahe nila. Tinanong ko doon sa loob paanong nangyari na nakatanggap siya ng sulat galing sa isang Dutch couple, dito sa The Hague. So, i-address nyo lang daw sa kanila. Babasahin nila yung sulat ninyo kapag nakita nila na walang problema sa sulat.
Nothing terminated.
Oo, sila yung mag-check kung ano yung pwede at hindi. At kung sinasabi nila sa loob na pwede, ibibigay nila doon sa kanya.
Meron na po bang mga iba pang family members na pupunta po dito para sumisita din po ang laging Pangulo?
Pinag-usapan namin sa loob ni Pangulong Duterte. Sabi niya kasi wag na papuntahin dito yung mga kapatid ko. Kasi unmarried si President Duterte. So he's single. So ang next of kin niya is kaming mga anak. At sabi niya na wag na pumunta dito dahil wala naman daw silang gagawin dito unless gusto daw nilang sumama doon.
So, baby.
Susundin niyo po yun?
Sumama.
Pwede magtanong. Ay, pwede mo tanong, baby.
Yes, ma'am. Opo.
Ano sa ka makaano? Dili sa ka or muli na kang Pilipinas?
Ako lang sang isahon ang mga abogado, i-meeting na ko sila. Magsabot mi kung unsay buhaton. Pagkahuman, kinahanglan ako muuli sa
Salamat.
Madami po nagtatanong ng mga bisita kung pwede daw po makapagpadala ng pagkain sa loob.
Iyan ang hindi ko natanong sa loob. Baka pwede nilang tanungin, pero top of mind answer ko, ma'am, baka hindi yan sila pumayag kasi it's a security risk. They will answer for whatever will happen to the former president inside the detention.
Tuloy po yung pagiging mayor ni
Oh yes, yes. He's looking forward actually na mag-mayor. Kaya nga sabi niya kanina sabi niya, hindi pa naman ako mayor, so dito lang muna ako.
So hindi po yun maapektuhan, yung kanyang candidacy of him being here?
Oh, he's only an accused, and an accused is presumed innocent until proven guilty. So masyado pa tayong malayo doon sa he's a convict.
So the target is to bring him home before the elections?
The target is to bring him home today, pero as we all know, it takes a lot of paperwork.
Pero nga, kadalang BP, ma-after ba siya, September sa iyong last day?
Wala. Dili pa pumunta to baga na Dili mo ganahan nga din siya sa inyo, ha?
Hindi mo ko taga-Sweden.
At taga-Sweden ka, so pambalhinon sa nanos.
Pwede mo sa Sweden, Timato ka. Pwede. So, hindi ka Manila pag-alis, kita ko sa bahay.
Yes, ma'am.
Hindi ka. Masaya na. Wag na kasama, baby. Until they put him in the plane.
Oo.
Illegal, ma'am.
Tinuod na siya, ma'am. Kidnap siya, ma'am.
We cannot do the ICC that it's illegal in the Article 59 of Accused ICC Rome Statute.
Opo, tinuod na siya, ma'am.
Dili man na like one.
We will bring that up in the proper time.
Naatay video nga be confirmed na mo.
Oy, salamat. Salamat. Kay kinahanglan po na ma'am, kinahanglan na sa mga abogado.
Ma'am, linawin ko lang po yung tungkol dun sa pagpunta-punta po niya sa clinic. Yung minomonitor po on a daily basis po ba, regularly, yung kanyang health? Kailangan po ba niya lumipat sa clinic to be able to do that? Or pupuntahan po siya sa sarili niyang cell?
Nandun siya sa hospital part ng detention facility. So, lahat sila doon, detainee patient.
So, meron po
Patient detainee.
So nandun pa po muna siya, hindi yung talagang nakaseparate siya.
Nakarating po sa kanya yung medicine sa pinadala?
Binigyan ng copy ng records ang mga doctors doon sa a list of medicines and alam naman ng mga doctors yung sa loob.
Yung dia po ay, kumusta naman po?
Hindi ko pa alam eh. Kailangan ko siya puntahan ngayon sa hospital. So pagkatapos natin dito ngayon, pupuntahan ko siya.
Sorry, one last. Gusto ko lang po malinawan. Yung very friendly siya sa loob. Yung mga guards, wardens, or yung mga kapwa detainee po ba yung nat-charm niya?
Hindi ata sila nakikita ng mga kapwa detainee niya. Kasi may kanya-kanya silang kwarto. So isang detainee lang per room. Yun ang pagkakaalam ko ha. Hindi ko lang alam if they see each other somewhere sa hallway or sa ewan ko saan sila kumakain, yun ang hindi ko alam.
So the place where he is specifically is still like a cell pero nasa hospital part? Or is it a clinic? Or can you just describe it, ma'am?
Hindi ko nakita ang kanyang
Pero yung sinabi po niya
quarters.
sa inyo na parang clinic part po ba yun? Hospital part? Or yung pinakikita po sa ICC website na cell ng bawat detainee?
Ang sinabi niya sa akin, ang sinabi niya sa akin, para akong nasa hotel except that
Except that.
Sinin sa ringan ako.
Ma'am, huwag lang natin sabayan para marinig po.
Nagsikin na po sa kanya yung nangyari. Na, kasi pag uwi niya po from Hong Kong, parang bilis po ng lahat ng mga bagay-bagay.
Alam naman niya, oo, sinabi naman niya na haharapin ko ito. I do not regret. I do not regret anything that I did sa aking paglilingkod sa bayan.
Ano to clarify po?
Ano na pinaka-namimiss niya?
Hindi ko
Sinabi naman niya kay ES din, ano?
sa girl na natay.
Okay. And then,
Para sa 23 po, kasi parang birthday rally niya rin po yun.
So 23.
Saka birthday po niya. Birthday.
Yes, nabi ko sa kanya. Aware na siya sa 23. And then, nagsabi siya na nagpapasalamat siya sa suporta na pinapakita ng mga kababayan. And ang isang concern lang niya is ayaw niya daw na makadisrupt tayo dito sa The Hague. So, isiguraduhin daw natin na kung ano man yung gagawin natin ay naka-coordinate daw sa LGU o sa police man kung saan daw dapat mag-coordinate. Kasi ayaw niya daw na maka-disrupt tayo dito. Yan ang hindi ko alam, pero alam ng lahat ng ating mga parallel groups at lahat ng mga individuals na kababayan natin. They can contact Jaira Madrona sa Office of the Vice President. She's the focal for March 10. Pero sa amin lang yung sorry.
Madam, kasama po sa GIL Amsterdam po ang prayer namin para kay Tatay D.
Thank you, JIL.
Bakit po ba niya yung laman nung letter po from the Dutch?
Pinabasa niya kasi sa akin. Kasi nagulat siya kung ano daw yon. Napakaganda kasi nung handwriting. Kasi napaisip siya. Tapos sabi ko, nagpaalam ako doon sa tao kung pwede ako ang humawak at magbasa. So, binasa ko sa kanya. They were saying that they were appalled of the detention and the kidnapping. And their saint daw, dito sa Netherlands, nakalimutan ko yung pangalan ng saint, was incarcerated as well in this very prison in 1932 and suffered the same fate as, suffered the same injustice as former President Rodrigo Duterte. And he did a Latin prayer. I think it was Peter. Gospel of Peter. Pietro is Peter, no?
Yes.
And then sabi niya that may you be guided by the Lord Jesus Christ.
May reaction lang po kayo sa mga developments back home. Up to you.
Ano ba developments back home? Update niyo muna ako kasi hindi ko alam kung ano nangyayari doon eh.
Yung mga lista-lista, yung mga pangapangalan. Kung gusto niyo lang po sumagot.
Utang, lista na.
yung mga kasama daw nila Piatos daw. Opo. Yung mga Miggy Mango.
Yung sa impeachment ba? Ito ba yung walang kamatayang confidential funds ng na-atake nila? Well, hindi ko masagot yan eh because as we speak, hindi namin alam how they handle the chain of evidence talaga eh. Hindi natin alam kung yan ba nga talaga yung sinabi ng Office of the Vice President at this point. Hindi na natin alam.
Hindi ko ba nagre-reklamo ngayon si former President Duterte? Kasi yung ginawa po ngayon dito, nararamdaman din po ba niya yung ginawa dun sa loob? Or comfortable po ba siya dun sa loob?
Comfortable. Actually, mainit doon kasi hinubad mo.
Mainit talaga dito.
Controlled yung temperature sa loob kasi medyo nainitan ako at hinubad ko yung jacket ko.
Okay. Salamat.
Okay.
Salamat.
Sir, can you tell us what happened with Attorney Medialdea, if you have info?
I don't think it's appropriate for me to go into details concerning Attorney Bingbong's condition at the moment. It's an issue of medical privacy.
All right. Have you successfully...
The former president is in very good spirits, looking forward to conducting his defense.
Is he being monitored daily at the clinic?
He's being taken care of by the appropriate services.
Do you have like an initial plan on what next steps to take legally, sir?
The first stage, the former president is composing his defense team. It will take a week, and then we'll see where we move from there.
How many are you in the team, sir, if you may tell
At the
us?
present moment in time, I've just been appointed. It's my job, and I'm privileged to carry this job out to compose a team for him. That will obviously be done in complete consultation with him and all those around him.
All right.
Who else will compose the defense team?
I'm not at ability to comment on it at the moment.
Can we say that, have you been...
I was formally appointed as of yesterday.
Right, but has the ICC approved that?
By the ICC.
Yeah.
I believe that something might be introduced into the court system today.
All right, so what do we expect from here on, sir?
A strong defense.
Uh-huh.
Sir, are you confident that you will be able to bring back home former President Duterte?
I certainly hope so.
Do you have any petitions to file prior to the confirmation of charges hearing on September 23?
There will be petitions, obviously. Once again, it's not for me to comment on the defense strategy at this moment in time.
According to the rules, there is a process called disclosure of evidence. Has that started yet?
That should start once council's appointed, and as I said, it's early days yet.
All right, sir. Where are you headed now, sir? You've met with Vice President Duterte as well.
Indeed, I have. Yes.
What was like any message, the first message that the president gave to you?
That he's in good spirits and looking forward to conducting his defense.
How often are you able to visit the former president?
I'm available to visit the former president as long as I'm here, as long as I'm allowed to do so. I have promised him that I will come every day that I'm in The Hague.
Do you have any information if the request of the Vice President to visit his father has already been approved?
I'm not at liberty to discuss matters like that.
Sir, finally, yesterday during a press conference by Attorney Roque, he said that the president should decide on whether to take legal aid from the court or, fund it himself. Would you know what the decision
Again,
is?
I'm not at liberty to discuss matters of funding and how the defense will be composed.
All right, sir.
Thank you so much.
So for now, we can say that you are the only confirmed legal counsel for the ICC case.
Once again, that's subject to any publications that might be on the ICC website and the decision of the registry. Hopefully that will be completed by
Is
today.
there any reason why the president hasn't signed yet the nomination for Attorney Roque and Attorney Medialdea?
As I told you, first things first. There is a need, first of all, for senior counsel to be appointed. A counsel who's experienced in matters at the ICC, and it's that counsel's job to compose the team. It's early days yet. No one is entitled to draw any conclusion whatsoever from what has been or hasn't been done with respect to nominations at this point in time.
All right. Thank you very much,
Okay.
sir. All right.
All the best.
What cases have you handled so far for the ICC?
Careful.
So sorry.
I've been involved in quite a few cases at the ICC.
Do you have an estimate how many?
I can't estimate. I've known quite a few people.
But you're very confident that the former president will be acquitted.
I'm very confident of the strongest defense possible, and I'm very confident that he will be acquitted, indeed, even at the earliest stage possible.
Can we
You
see?
won't wait for the September 23 confirmation of charges hearing anymore?
We will be filing all necessary applications in due course. I'm not prepared to comment on the defense strategy at this moment in time. Okay? Thank you very much.
Can you say you have over 10 cases?
10
the
cases?
ICC? Yeah.
10 cases is a bit generous. I don't think anyone's had 10 cases in this institution. I don't think this institution's even had a lawyer who's represented 10 people.
3?
I've represented more than 3 people in the course.
More than 3. Okay.
Question the form of arrest, Article 59 of the Rome Statute.
Once again.
The Article 59 of the Rome Statute, Attorney Harry.
Yes, well, on that point, he was completely denied all his rights in the Philippines. That will obviously be a major argument in the course of his defense.
Gaano kahalaga ito?
Napakahalaga po kasi ako po ang presidente ng PDP Laban at nasa kalagitnaan po ng kampanya ang ating bansa. Political ally po ako. Ito pong ating Pangulo ay chairman ng isang political party. So siguro po nararapat lamang po na makausap ko yung aking chairman. Opo.
So wala pang balita kung anong sagot doon?
Malungkot po, lagi po ako dito. Noong Biyernes pa.
Oo.
Ay, wala pa po. Ngayon po, sigurado wala pa. Kasi yung mukha ni ES mukhang malungkot.
What's the next step, Senator?
Bukas po ulit. Bukas po ulit. Umaasa naman po ako na itong mga naniniwala naman daw sila sa human rights, hindi tingnan natin.
Gaano katagal po kayo dito eh? Kayo po ay senator, sitting senator.
Ay, break po kami. Break
So,
po ngayon. Ngayon po, siguro po ang tamang tanong, paano yung kampanya? Kaya po tayo nandito. Tatanong po tayo.
Pero right
Ating mahal na Pangulong Duterte kung ano po yung strategy. Siyempre, isa po lahat ito.
Pero right
Alam
now,
nyo, si Mayor, kaya ng isip niya to. Ang tanong natin, kaya ba ng katawan niya? Yun ang
so ngayon, ang may tentative ano kayo kung hanggang anong panahon kayo dito? O wala pa, malabo lahat, up in the air?
siguro mga 1 week pa. Hanggang birthday niya. Hindi pa naman kami, matagal pa naman ang resume. Kampanya, ang iniisip ko yung kampanya.
How is
Kampanya, yung session, tagal pa yun.
how is this affecting yung kampanya?
Well, sa usapin ng presence ni Mayor, sapol na sapol kami. Di ba yun nga, itatanong ko kay Mayor, paano ngayon yun? Kasi siya ang #1 crowd drawer namin. Pag sinabi mo andyan si Presidente, talagang ang tao dumadating kahit hindi bayad. Yun, paano ngayon yan? Wala naman kaming pera. Ang PDP, wala naman kaming pera.
Video.
How the fuck? Ako, sulat natin. Hindi ko tatanggihan yan, pero simulat natin. Sige. Chairman. Van Houten. Dito lang.
Duterte pa rin. Duterte.
Okay, nais kong tawagin ang ating eksperto dito, si Professor Alexis Medina, na nagpapaliwanag na yung surrender ay naiiba sa extradition at maliwanag yon sa lahat. Kaya't I'd like to recognize Attorney Alexis Medina po. You've written extensively on the distinction and application of surrender versus extradition. Ano ang nangyari kay Presidente Duterte? Surrender ba yan or extradition?
Thank you for the invitation, Honorable Madam Chair. And good afternoon, everyone, the Cabinet Secretaries and distinguished members of the executive branch. Okay. Also, Senator Cayetano, good afternoon, Senator Bongo, Senator Jingo Estrada. Going back to the question, there was the proposition that the immediate surrender of the person arrested to the jurisdiction of a foreign government or foreign state or international tribunal can be undertaken without judicial proceedings under 9851, Section 17. I respect the opinion of our hardworking and brilliant Secretary of Justice, but nevertheless, I respectfully disagree. Surrender without judicial proceedings might amount to a violation of the liberty of abode that is guaranteed by Section 6 of the Bill of Rights. The liberty of abode cannot be impaired without a lawful order of the court. That's the text of the Constitution. Now, this constitutional protection is a barrier for any government action that would simply compel an individual to change his residence. So to compel a person, to expel a person from his country of residence without a lawful court order by excluding the judicial process might amount to a violation of the liberty of abode. Now, surrender as an option under Section 17 is applicable only in very narrow situations. One is when the person to be arrested has already voluntarily surrendered to the custody of the national government, in which case that negates the necessity of the extradition process. The other option is when the person to be arrested is actually an alien, in which case there's no need to go through the extrajudicial process. It's only a deportation process which does not involve a court proceedings. So in those two instances, surrender without court proceedings would be possible. Other than those proceedings, it would be very difficult to maintain that that is sanctioned by the Constitution.
So ang
Thank you, Your Honor.
sinasabi po ninyo, dalawa lang pagkakataon na pwede mag-surrender. Kung yung mismong akusado at arestado ang nagsusumite sa pamahalaan, yun, pwede yun.
Yes po.
Kusa niya yun.
Yes.
Ikalawa, kapag banyaga,
Yes po.
di naman Pilipino,
Yes po.
di-deport, executive action yun.
Yes po.
Mabilis, walang kailangan na korte-korte.
Yes po.
So yun lang, wala na pong ibang exception, wala na pong ibang sitwasyon kung saan pwedeng surrender. Kasi pinagpipilitan na sinurrender, sinuko ang Pangulong Duterte ng pamahalaan sa Interpol. Yun ang pagkaintindi ko sa sinasabi kanina. Sinasabi ninyo, hindi po pwede yun. Dalawang pagkakataon lang ang po pwede isuko ang isang Pilipino. Yung isa pa nga, hindi sa Pilipino. Attorney Medina po.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I stand by my statement. There may be possibilities that surrender can happen in other situations, but certainly surrender of a person necessarily requires the lawful order of the court. And this requirement is consistent with the policy of the Constitution that whenever there's a deprivation of liberty, court intervention, judicial proceedings, judicial process is a requirement because the right to liberty is placed in an exalted status in our constitutional system. Hindi po pwedeng, the Constitution does not contemplate exclusion of the court process in depriving a person of his right to liberty.
Kung hindi pwedeng isuko ang isang Pilipino na hindi pumapayag, hindi naman voluntary, ang ibig mo sabihin, ang iba pang pagkakataon, extradition na.
Yes,
That's the only legal process to enforce surrender to the ICC. I-extradite na kapag Pilipino ka. Tama po ba?
I agree, Madam Chair. Thank you. And extradition is a judicial proceedings. Involves judicial proceedings po.
Okay.
May I
At
respond?
maliwanag din dito, maski yung Interpol mismo, sinasaad na kinakailangan provisional arrest, extradition to be applied for in conformity with national laws. Sinasabi nga sa ating konstitusyon, sa ating Korte Suprema lamang at sa mga iba't iba pang korte. Kasama pa ba yung korte sa ICC?
If I may comment, Your Honor, can I give the context for my statements?
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. My apologies, I had to answer the question directly. I was invited on the basis of a post I made online, a legal opinion on the arrest of the former president. I'd like
And also
to,
your qualifications as an
yes.
international lawyer.
No, I actually am a teacher of constitutional law. I taught at San Sebastian College, Recoletos, Manila, the Polytechnic University of Manila, and the New Era University. I also give lectures for bar review examiners. Okay. Well, when I posted a legal opinion on the arrest of the president, to my surprise, it gained public traction. And my objective in posting that is really for academic discourse, not for any legal or political advocacy. I'd like to make it clear to everyone in the room, I am not here as a partisan. Okay, I am not involved in any political activity. My views that I posted are from the detached perspective of an academic.
Full disclosure po, I've never met you before.
Yeah, opo.
I've only read you, thank you.
Yeah, thank you po. And to be honest po, 2016, I did not even vote former president. I was counsel for Grace Poe. Okay, so Senator Grace Poe. So my view that the arrest and detention and expulsion of the former president may have infringed several constitutional guarantees in favor of the former president. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Madam Chair.
Attorney Medina. I think Senator Cayetano has evinced his desire to
Well,
interpolate.
full disclosure then, I'm trying to be non-partisan. I ran as an independent last election, no political party. But I did vote for the president in 2016. No? So I saw the SOJ raising his hand. Would you like to give your comment now? Or I'm actually going to ask him questions on this. Then I'll ask the chair to give you time to rebut.
I would like to hear your questions
Okay,
and answers.
thank you for that. So sir, tayo ba nag-meet na rin ba tayo?
I don't think so, sir.
I don't think so. So yeah, yes, sir. I don't mean to be rude, and I thank you for your, volunteering your opinion. Kasi nga, basically there's so much confusion. So we're trying to get through the confusion, not only for today, but also for tomorrow, to make sure that we respect our Constitution and everyone's right is protected. So my first question, do we, in this room, do we all agree that if there's conflict between international law and our Constitution will prevail?
Yes, Your Honor, that's the doctrine of constitutional supremacy.
You agree, SOJ? No, yeah. If there's conflict, di ba? Kasi sinabi naman sa Constitution that international law forms part of the land of the law. So if there's no conflict, wala tayong problema. Okay. So having said that, one of the fundamental or yung anchors or foundations of the Philippine Constitution, also from the U.S. Constitution, is Section 1 of the Bill of Rights, that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall any person be denied equal protection of law. Agree, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, when we arrest someone, we're depriving him of liberty.
Yes, Your Honor.
When we deport someone by virtue of a warrant arrest, let's say like in the case of Congressman Mark Jimenez extradition with the U.S., we're depriving him of liberty.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So when we I don't know, alleged lawful arrest. Let me just use it that way while we're determining of former President Duterte, and then putting him to a plane to Hague. We deprived him of liberty.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So the next question, was he given due process? So ang sinasabi po ng government, there are two ways: extradition or surrender.
Yes.
Okay. And tama po ba, this law that we're invoking now was passed before we ratified yung ICC?
Yes.
This law was prior to the ICC, no? Judicial Notice, Republic Act
9851.
9851. No? I mentioned that because in the interpellation of, I think it was Senator Gordon and Senator Loren, and then meron din Senator Miriam, it was made clear doon na kailangan magpasan pa ng ibang legislation for the pag mag-a-arrest. Ayan, no, Senator Legarda, so even if the executive ratifies it and we concur in its ratification and we pass this proposed measure that we are contemplating now, is it not enough to implement the Rome Statute? Mali lang yung records, wrong statute nakalagay. Pero mukhang tama din na wrong talaga. Pero Rome Statute dapat to. Okay. Senator Gordon, yes, it is just like the VFA all over again. It is not enough, Mr. President, because there will be a mechanism upon which we would have to surrender certain nationals who have committed war crimes or violations against covered by the statute that we have not to be met, no? So meaning, if you take judicial notice of this, while we were passing this law later on, the intent of the legislature was to pass a mechanism for surrender. You can dispute that later on, sir, and look into it. I don't think we'll finish everything naman today, di ba? Some of this we really have to also consult everyone. No? But having said that, I think the point of the senators there was, klaro kasi extradition. So sa extradition, mako-comply mo yung due process sa Section 1 because you will, tama ba ako, you will be brought before a judge.
Yes po.
They will show you the extradition notice and the other papers like the warrant of arrest, and the person being arrested can answer before the judge. Tama
Yes,
po ba?
po.
Okay. So let me go to Section 2. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures of whatever nature and for whatever purpose shall be inviolable. No? So, i-google na lang natin inviolable ba? Tama ba? Basically, you cannot violate this.
Opo.
Okay. And no search warrant or warrant of arrest shall issue except upon probable cause to be determined personally by the judge and after examination under oath or affirmation of the complainant and the witness he may produce, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or things to be seized. Okay. Mas bata ka ba sa akin? 1970 ako pinanganak.
Matanda na po.
So,
Yeah.
halos magka-age tayo.
Hindi po, mas matanda po.
Mas matanda ka ng konti. Sorry, mas mukha kang bata sa akin. But, no, the point is, because medyo middle kaming pinanganak nun, I think mas ka-age ko si Gilbert, no? So, ang alam ko lang, by the time kasi I got to law school, 87, 97 ako graduate, 10 years na tong constitution na to eh. This was all a reaction to martial law, where they had different kinds of warrant of arrest, including yung ASO and whatever, which were all legal during that time. I'm not judging that time. I'm just saying, both under martial law, the former constitution, jurisprudence, going from the Spanish to the Japanese period, to the American period, to our independence. So in the wisdom of the Filipino people, pinasa to na except, ang alam ko lang exception, there may be one or two, but alam ko exception yung sinabi mong deportation, because when they come in, hindi na kailangan pumunta sa judge, immigration officials can deport or arrest them, di ba? Pero otherwise, hindi pwedeng si SOJ, DILG, hindi pwedeng si Secretary, no matter how brilliant Secretary Gibo is, when he's in the military can only arrest their personnel, no, under certain codes, di ba? But he cannot issue a warrant of arrest, di ba? So the safeguard of each and every Filipino sa due process is you're brought before a judge, and due process is one, yung nakalagay dito, that you're informed about the nature of, the words is in, 12. Yan. Sa Section 12, any person under investigation for the commission of offense shall have the right to be informed of his right to remain silent and have competent and independent counsel preferably of his choice. Yan po, General Torre, yung Miranda rights na binasa mo kay former President Duterte. Tama po, no? I didn't see the whole video eh. I just heard SALG said that there's a whole video, but I only saw sa internet, pero nakita ko binasahan. Okay. Pero nakalagay dito, okay. If he cannot afford, he can be given a counsel, so may question ako later on dyan. Okay, but on Section 14, eto. In all criminal prosecution, the accused shall be presumed innocent until contrary is proved, and shall enjoy the right to be heard by himself and counsel. Eto importante. To be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation against him, and then to have a speedy trial, no? So meaning, the more you have to explain yung cause at yung nature kung foreign, because you're not familiar with their laws compared sa laws natin. So for example, in the case of Mark Jimenez, he questioned the extradition request before a Philippine judge. I googled it, nakalagay pa nga doon. Nagrereklamo siya, mas atat pa daw yung Pilipino na extradite siya kaso sa Amerikano. I don't even know it's true, no? But my question is, sir, so is it your proposition that if we surrender without an arrest from a Philippine judge, we're denying him due process? That's my words based on Section 1, but feel free to use your words.
Thank you, Senator. Yes, I agree. Basically, the principle involved here is due process. I think a lot of commentators have already pointed out the requirement of adherence to the principle of due process. So, whatever it is that the government is action is taking that would deprive a person of life, liberty, or process or property, it has to go through a certain process. It's called procedural due process. If it's a crime, it's a criminal due process. It's a procedural due process requires opportunity to be heard, reasonable opportunity to be heard by and in an impartial or before an impartial tribunal.
And in criminal law, both procedural and substantial due process are essential. Not only
Yes,
important,
yes.
but are essential,
Yes.
diba?
Yes,
Because
Your
in let's say, other cases, kung magkamali ng konti sa procedure, it's repairable. Pero sa criminal law, na-accuse ka na mali, kambal mo pala yon, or nung pinasa yung batas na yon, hindi pa pala crime, and then you weren't informed, fatal yon. So much so, that meron ngang doctrine of the poisonous tree, di ba? That if yung evidence that were taken from you were illegally obtained, hindi pwedeng gamitin against you. Is my recollection of the law. You're a professor, so you continually review this. I don't continually review you do this, no, but I should, of course.
I agree, Senator. The rule is the exclusionary rule for violation of the right against unreasonable searches.
I was just emphasizing how important the procedural due process is because my next question, sinabi mo nga reasonable time. Diba? So,
reasonable opportunity.
Reasonable opportunity, which includes reasonable time, right?
Opo.
Because even if you can run to court, if you give the court 3 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours, it's not for us because wala namang Supreme Court regulation or batas na nagsasabing the writ of habeas corpus has to be issued in 12 hours or 1 day or etc. Diba? So you give reasonable time. So, can I just interject one question kay General Torre? So, sir, when you read the Miranda rights, did you explain the nature and cause of of that crime that he's being accused of?
Yes, sir. It is on record and caught on video, sir.
Yeah, sorry about I don't know lang kasi about the record, so I'm not doubting you.
Yes, sir.
Ang napanood ko lang kasi yung standard Miranda rights that
Yes, sir.
you have. So, how did you read to him yung nature and cause? It's sa warrant or you...
Yes, sir. I read from the warrant, sir. It
From
was
the warrant.
extracted from the warrant by the DOJ.
So you read to him the warrant. Around
Yes.
what time po yun? More or less.
Mga around before lunchtime, sir.
So nung hinuli mo pa lang, binasa nyo na sa kanya yung warrant? Kasi yung nakita namin video, sir, sa airport, the wife of former ES Miguel Dia was asking nga, di ba? And Ma'am Hanilet was also asking. At sinabi nyo, I don't know what you answered, but basically hindi nyo pa pinakita yung warrant, no? Di ba?
Nung yung mga video na yun, sir, gabi na yun, sir. Tapos na lahat na yun, sir. Paulit-ulit na lang, inuulit-ulit.
No, what I was saying is that ang nakita kong video, yung palabas pa lang sila, and you were informing him naman na meron warrant, di ba?
Palabas sa tube, sir.
Sa tube, oo.
Nung palabas sa tube, sir, when the party of the former president is going up the tube, doon, sir, sa mismong junction ng tube at sa yung moving junction, sir, ng tube, he was already met by PG, who attempted to read him his rights.
Okay.
And they said, wag na, papabain natin ang atensyon, doon na lang sa 250th.
Okay, so they attempted to read him his right. And dala nila yung warrant nun, hindi pa?
Yes, sir. Dala na, sir.
Dala na nila?
They will not...
So yung issue na walang dala, that's not true kasi dala nila?
Hindi sila lalabas sa plane, sir. Yun ang condition nila. Hindi kami lalabas sa plane pag wala yung warrant.
So nandun yung warrant. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So did you or any of the people who were serving the warrant explain to him the elements of the crime?
Yes, sir. The whole
So
warrant was actually given to them.
So just because it's simple naman, what are the elements of the crime against humanity na may murder? If you explain to him, then you can explain to me, di ba? So what's the elements?
During the time, sir, it was not me who attempted the reading of the rights. It was the prosecutor general.
Yes, sir. But sabi mo, you know the elements of the crime.
I read to him in toto what was written on the warrant, sir.
I read the warrant. Wala doon yung elements of the crime.
We did not say that I know the elements, sir. I just read to him exactly the charges in accordance with what is written in the
Yes, sir.
warrant.
I'm not arguing on the opinion and the legal kasi ito factual pa lang. But my point is, when you arrest a Filipino citizen for theft, for inciting to sedition, etc., meron po tayong legal maxim that ignorance of the law is not an excuse thereof. So, we're, as Filipino citizens, dapat alam natin yung law, di ba? So, pag inarrest mo yung isang tao, ano yan, bagransya? Sandali lang, sir. Na-repeal na yung bagransya, hindi na bata, ano yan. But I'm arresting you for what? For theft. You don't need to read the elements because alam na ng Pilipino yung nature and yung cause nung theft. But since this is a foreign court, and it's not even in the Rome Statute, yung elements. It was passed later on. So ang point ko, was the accused, in this case former president, aware of what he was being accused of? So I'll stop there, sir. Factual lang naman, and I take your answer that it was the warrant was there, it was read to him, and there were different. I won't go to them now. I'm just making the point that even if you serve the warrant, kung hindi niya alam at hindi alam ng lawyer niya, how do you expect him to run to court for to get legal remedy? So, going back, Attorney Alexis, sir, so is the ability to seek legal remedy part of due process? Meaning, if you deny me, if you're accusing me of something, my warrant of arrest, and you don't allow me to go to Philippine courts, is that denying you due process?
Absolutely, Your Honor. Without casting any aspersion on the character or competence of the officials involved.
Yeah, I'm asking a general question. I think SOJ naman is listening and they will answer. So, going back to surrender. So, if may foreign court ngayon, I look, I have it somewhere here, pasensya na kayo magulo. Senator Trillanes was saying in May 2024 na 3 batches of warrants to. First daw is si PRD, after that daw, Senator Bato, Senator Bongo, etc. And then sa third batch, military and police officials. So, I agree with Senator Bongo na wala na tayong magagawa in the sense na nandyan na si PRD. But I disagree na hindi importante itong hearing kasi kung may second, third, fourth batch pa yung warrants, it's important. And take note tama po ba ako, during the time that the Marawi uprising or the Marawi siege, Secretary Anyo, we were still under ICC noon, no? Kasi that was, tama po, di ba? When we were in Russia. So you know, if a terrorist who survived goes to the ICC and shows them pictures of 19 women or children that were died and comes up with a witness and tells them, alam nyo, from President Duterte to Sec Anyo to the Chief of Staff to ganito, they planned this, they killed this ganito. It may be not true, it may be totally false. So if the ICC issues a warrant here, I want to make sure that every officer of the AFP has his day in court before they're sent to Hague. So valid itong hearing na to. As I said, may emotions lang, and you know, let's excuse all of ourselves kung minsan may konting emotion, but we just want to clarify this. So yun yung context ng tanong ko, Tony Alexis, no? So kung halimbawa may warrant for whatever, for Juan de la Cruz, kinuha siya based on that warrant, pero hindi siya binigyan ng enough time or enough opportunity before a Philippine judge, aren't we denying him due process? Because pagdating dun sa foreign court, as SOJ said correctly, and I agree with him, iba language, iba procedure, and everything. So isn't a Filipino citizen, doesn't he have the right under the Constitution to be judged first by Philippine law before he's brought out to a foreign country or to an international tribunal to face what their interpretation of the law is?
If I may answer,
Yes.
Your Honor, if you look at the consistent policy of the Constitution, when there is a deprivation of liberty, the consistent policy of the Constitution is to involve the judiciary. The exclusion, complete exclusion of the judiciary in the deprivation of liberty of any citizen is anathema to the principles of the Constitution. And you can see that in the different provisions of the Constitution. You can see that in the requirements for the warrant of arrest, due process, liberty of abode, criminal proceeding, criminal due process, even in the period when the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus is suspended, the Constitution mandates the government to file charges against the person. So
last two
always.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
Constitution.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last
Thank
two
you.
questions or three then opportunity for SOJ. No? So, yung pong nagugulat ako kasi even those who claim to be human rights activists, pinopost nila to sa Facebook. Again, hindi ko nila lahat. I admire many human rights activists, but even some na very well known, no? If I'm not mistaken, even former Senator De Lima, more or less may ganitong tema. Bakit? Si Duterte ba may alam na due process nung pinatay silang mga to? Diba? Bakit siya ngayon humihingi ng due process? So, my next question is due process only for the innocent? Only for the saints? Or even, first of all, President Duterte is presumed innocent. But assuming 5 times na convicted drug lord, rapist, torturer, etc., nahuli ng PNP, under our Constitution, dapat ba may due process pa rin siya?
Yes, Your Honor, if you look at the text of the Constitution, there are no names that are excluded from its application.
So even if a person, whether he's a private citizen or government, is accused of not giving due process, that's the beauty of the Constitution, di ba? That everyone should be given due process.
Opo.
So I just want to make that clear kasi nga, sabi ni Secretary De Lima, walang due process sa kanya. But if you go before that, nung inimbestigahan pa lang niya si President Duterte when she was CHR and she was DOJ, wala naman siyang final na kaso. So sabi naman ni President Duterte, nung mayor pa lang siya, wala akong due process, sinasabi na niya na guilty ako. So nung siya naman yung naging presidente, eto naman nakulong, ang sinasabi naman niyang walang due process si Duterte. So ang point ko lang, if we as Filipinos do not demand due process for everyone, DOJ and the government is not saying that they denied, but I'm just saying, no, mali yung argument sa Facebook na pag ikaw hindi mo binigyan ng due process yung kalaban, ikaw hindi ka na pwedeng kumuha ng due process. Iba po yun. Meron doctrine sa batas that those to come to court should come with clean hands. That's a different application. Anyone can come to court asking for due process, di ba? I wanted to clear that up lang, and I ask you that, Dr. Alexis, for 2 reasons. One, attorney, because you're a constitutional law professor. Number 2, if I ask SOJ, baka ispin nung iba and they tell na meron o wala si Duterte. I'm not talking about Duterte, I'm talking about every single Filipino deserves due process. Okay. My next question is, will the Interpol, or I don't want you to make a judgment sa Interpol, no? If any foreign entity, no, comes to us and asks for an arrest, is it non-cooperation with them if we say may provisional arrest, we have him in custody, but a Philippine judge has to decide whether or not we can turn him over to you?
If I may, Your Honor, international conventions actually respect compliance with the domestic laws. Even the Rome Statute, in the cooperation, the requirement is application of the laws of the country, of the custodial state. So it's up to the custodial state how to comply. There is no issue that we should comply with all these international obligations. That's not the dispute. The dispute is how to comply. And the manner of compliance is governed primarily, of course, by the Constitution, the highest law of the land.
And that's precisely why the diffusion notice stated provisional arrest or extradition, because so this is the parallelism of what I want to make. If the ICC knows na pwedeng provisional arrest or pwedeng extradition, they give it sa Interpol, hindi naman magagalit ang Interpol kung nagbigay silang red notice at ang sagot mo sa Interpol, we have him under custody but we cannot release him to you unless a Philippine court so orders, or unless we give him enough time to seek legal remedy. Because of course, if the person doesn't seek legal remedy, para na rin yung surrender. Because the whole argument is that we're just helping Interpol. So I just wanted to clear that up. And again, ang hirap ng Facebook o media interview kasi hindi nakakasagot yung kabilang side. Eto, we can. I'll stop there, Madam Chair. So the point I want to make, and this is my personal stand, and I hope in a less emotional and more academic setting also, Mr. Secretaries, we can determine that because part of life, liberty, and ano ba yung ginamit natin? Iba kasi yung sa US, di ba? Sila may pursuit of happiness. Tayo, life, liberty, and property is the peace of mind. Di ba? The peace of mind na dito at least sa bansa ko, siyempre hindi mo kontrolado kriminal. Diyan pumapasok, Sir Marbil, yung peace and order, assurance, etc. But at least alam ko, hindi ako pwedeng biglang arestuhin dito tapos i-try wherever. Di ba? Pero kung in doubt yon, di ba? So for example, feel free to judge Senator Bato, but I made the same statement as the Senate President that if he's in the Senate, even if beyond 6 years yung kakasuhan sa kanya, kung hindi pa nagde-decide ang Supreme Court what constitutes surrender, etc., and he seeks legal remedy, we should give, under reasonable circumstances, sanctuary to him. We did that sa Batasan 5. I mean, I've never be pro, hindi ko na alam kung anong word ang gagamitin kasi baka sabihin red tagging, di ba? But the progressive left or whatever, di ba? During the time of President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo, we were together, Secretary, di ba, na we weren't looking at their ideology, we weren't looking at guilty ba sila o hindi, we were looking at the institution and the, what you call this, the balancing ba na pag medyo sigurado na legal yung pag-arrest, etc., tayo mismo kumakausap sa kanila na lumabas na kayo dito. I think that's what happened with Senator De Lima. No? I'll stop there. Napakaraming issues. Mamaya pa na factual ang tanong ko. But, Madam Chair, if we can give the DOJ an opportunity to respond. Thank you very much, Attorney.
If you allow me, thank you very much, Attorney Medina. Thank you very much, Senator Cayetano. Before we go back to Secretary Remulla, if you will allow me, yes, para sa amin medyo mabigat nga yung 4-5 oras na bukas ang korte, no? Kasi hindi naman pwede yung hating gabi at hindi naman bukas pa. Talagang alam natin ditong mga extradition at kung ano-ano pa, talagang taon-taon yan tumatagal. Hindi oras-oras, kahit naiinip na tayo. Kahit sinasabi ni General Torre, nakakapikon na yung optics nila. Kung ano-ano nang ginagawa, kinakailangan pa rin binibigyan natin ng pagkakataon. So, sa palagay mo, ilang oras ba dapat? Kasi hindi naman bukas ang korte nun, hindi naman office hours eh. Yes, Senator Cayetano po.
No, Madam Chair, konting latitude lang from SOJ because kanina we agreed to disagree already and kaya nga ang appeal ko sa kanya to make rules kung ano ang reasonable time. And since my wife is a mayor and I was speaker and DFA secretary before, I do understand from the enforcement point of view, di ba, sa police, sir. Siyempre, pag may hulihin, mission-oriented kayo eh. Parang yung military, di ba? Ang mission nyo, ma-arrest, di ba? But that's why nga, meron kang Solgen, meron kang SOJ, meron DILG. So ang viewpoint ng DILG, ng police, ng NBI, halimbawa, hulihin at yung ma-return yung warrant successfully, di ba? But even si E.S. Miguel Dia, who remember, he was, you can call it a vacation or a working trip in Hong Kong, na rally sinamahan lang, didn't expect a 20-hour flight, didn't expect to do all of this. And he only saw the president, former president, an hour before he appeared before ICC. And hindi naman niya alam yung rules ng ICC, etc. So, ito ang sinabi niya, di ba? 2 days ago, the world has witnessed the degrading fashion in which a former president of a sovereign country was bundled into a private aircraft and summarily deported to The Hague. To ask lawyers, this would be called an extrajudicial rendition. To the less inclined, it was pure and simple kidnapping. My client was denied all access to the legal recourse in the country of citizenship, and this all in the nature of political score setting. So I won't read the score setting, etc. Alam naman natin lahat, but just to go down, eto, sabi niya, so 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 5th paragraph, I have not been able to explain to him what the prosecution requested when seeking the issuance of arrest warrant. This is because the chamber only established a redacted version of the prosecution last night. Other than to identify myself, my client is not able to contribute anything to this hearing. I cannot speak for former ES Miguel Dia. Ang impression lang, at least sa internet at sa amin, I talked to him. He's the only one I talked to. I haven't talked to the Vice President since 2018 or 2019. I saw President Duterte, parang 2022 pa, I'm not sure, no? But ang point ko, tama-tama nung may kinakamusta ako dun sa Netherlands, katabi niya si ES, ang sinabi lang niya sa akin at that time, wala sa ospital, pinangako sa amin dalhin sa ospital, pumunta kami dito sa center, detention, wala daw Rodrigo Duterte or President Rodrigo Duterte. 30 minutes later naman after talking, it was on the news, so that's all public record. So I haven't talked to him, so I don't know kung ano yung stand niya. But I did hear SILG say that naka-tape naman lahat to. So I'm not going to ask you to produce it now dahil may court dates pa kayo, but at the right time, just for the committee's accuracy and to be precise in our findings, yun nga, if there are parts na ibigay nyo where sinasabi at pinapakita yung warrant, ano yung warrant, or a copy of what he showed. I'm just saying that we will go back and forth kasi consistent naman kanina pa. Yes,
we have a picture here if we can show
Okay.
you, but maybe General Torre can approach.
Yeah,
and show you
no,
the picture.
sa committee or after, or if you want to show. Ang point ko lang, factually, consistent naman kayo kanina pa na pinakita, hindi doon sa 250, di ba? We're just going back and forth, so I just wanted to escape that. And then I don't know what their lawyers are saying na hindi pinakita. Okay, so, but thank you for that, SLG. So, yung last point ko nga kay Atty. Alexis, in the form of a few questions. Sir, does the quality of your petition to the court matter? In terms of due process and satisfying reasonable manner that the accused was given the opportunity to seek legal remedies.
You mean to say, Your Honor, you think of due process, the petitioner should have enough time to come up with a quality petition?
Well, quality lawyers, because if I'm consulting an immigration lawyer for a criminal, I don't know the practice of ES Miguel Dia. Well, at the last 6 years, I do know that he was ES. In his younger years, he was my dad's partner before nag-iba-ibang law office. Parang hindi ko alam kung litigation or labor eh. So ang point ko lang, di ba, the quality of the petition you file is also part of due process, meaning having enough time with your lawyer, being able to choose kung sinong lawyer, the combination of your lawyers, whether saying, sir, pang RTC to, sir, pang Supreme Court. I read marami sa internet na bakit hindi ununa yung writ of habeas corpus, application for the writ of habeas corpus versus the TRO. The explanation, sorry guys, talagang sa Facebook at sa news, but sa news, doon ko rin nabasa, so I'm not saying it's true. Maraming fake news in all sides, but I'm just telling you honestly where I got my news. At sinasabi nga na si attorney, how do you pronounce it? Torion? No, the one who filed sa TRO, yung Torion, di ba? Sinasabi kasi nga, si Attorney Torion somehow worked on it na nung may balita pa lang sa Hong Kong. Kaya yun yung final. I don't know if it's true or not, but my point is, I see from the enforcement side, binigyan nyo ng 10 hours, 12 hours, but from the accused side, enough time to pick my lawyers, to give the facts, to look at the warrant, to look, kasi ako lang, 2 days na ako nag-aaral sa hearing na to, hirap pa eh. So if I'm not a practicing lawyer in the sense na nag-litigate, di ba? But I don't think I'll be able to put a really good petition to the Supreme Court or to the RTC in 2 days. Di ba? So to say may 12 hours na. So my question was really, hindi ba part ng due process din yung reasonable opportunity to the best defense available to you?
If I may, Senator, there are actually no clear constitutional or jurisprudential standards on the quality of legal service as an aspect of due process. But it's arguable that the quality, the opportunity to get quality legal service, the opportunity to get to submit a quality legal work should be should be also part of the guarantee of reasonable opportunity to be heard of due process. So personally, I would agree, but unfortunately, it's still something that should be argued po. Maraming salamat.
Sige. I just wanted to make the point na for me, yung part ng due process doon is yung best defense available sa kanya is made available precisely. Because if you will dictate to me ano defense ko, problema yon, di ba? So, kung titignan mo sa Hague, so hindi nila pwede pang question dun sa unang hearing, let me just call it unang hearing, yung jurisdiction, yung pagpunta doon, and then September pa. Dito, unless you're caught in flagrante delicto and unless i-inquest ka, a number of days ang ibibigay ng fiscal, tapos sasagutin ng abogado mo. So mahaba pang proseso bago ka, and that's for simple cases, for theft, etc. Lalo pagka for murder. And even sa inquest, may time na binibigay na papakawalan mo. So I just wanted to make that point na ibang-iba. And just an observation, Madam Chair, dito po sa information on the surrender and transfer, nakalagay kasi dito, number 14, the ICC representative informed Mr. Duterte the next step that would be followed, that he's going to be transferred to the ICC detention center by the Dutch authorities. He was informed that he was being arrested in the implementation of ICC warrant for arrest, that he was informed he will be checked by medical professionals. He was informed he has the right to receive family visits. He was informed that his first appearance will take place soon. He was informed he would be taken to hospital. He was informed he would receive a folder at the detention center with his rights and information on the next procedural step, no? And then si E.S. Miguel Diang, sinabi niya, what did he say about sinabi niya the next day pa, or? Hindi, may sinabi siya after the hearing, di ba? Oo, na basically na hindi pa nila alam yung charges. So again, tama si SOJ na iba sistema nila. For all we know, they were following their system. But that's my point nga. Iba sistema nila sa atin. And we subjected not only an ordinary Filipino citizen, but a former president to that. So parang on trial din tayo doon. So, I'll defer back to you, Madam Chair, but later I have some questions on fact.
Yes, sa news footage, naipakita rin na si former president was checked by medical doctors. Kaya lang, ang sabi, hindi naman doktor ni presidente yon. Is it not under the PNP standard operating procedures na yung arestado may karapatan humingi ng doktor ng kanilang sariling doktor, yung independent and competent doctor of their own choice, ang sabi sa inyong standard operation procedure noong 2012, di ba itong kinikilala ng kapulisan natin?
Ma'am, he has doctors who came over, and I believe they are from Cardinal Santos. We offered also the services of the PNP doctors, and we also offered the services of the post-hospital doctors there in the Philippine Air Force.
Hindi, pero ang mahalaga, yung doktor na talagang doktor niya.
Yes, ma'am. They came from the Cardinal Santos. Is their doctors. What they are actually asking, they even asked for ECG, and the ECG came. That was very, very different from the ordinary Filipinos. And they are asking for, I think, executive checkup. That's one thing that we did not accede to.
Kung sinasabi ninyo, po? Yes, Senator Jinggoy. So, walang katotohanan doon sa sinasabi na hindi ninyo pinagbigyan yung sarili niyang doktor?
No, ma'am. Not true, ma'am.
Okay.
They requested a doctor. The doctors arrived. He was given an ECG. Subsequently, they asked Miss Hanilet, the common wife partner, the common law partner of the former president, for a list of his prescribed medicines. She declined. We asked a rundown of his pre-existing medical conditions. She declined. We asked what allergies he had. She declined. We asked that she board the flight with him going to The Hague. She declined. So all those rights, according to him, were given, and the doctor was given, and we tried to extract as much information as possible, but they all declined.
Okay, Senator Jinggoy, I believe that Secretary John Vic said that these were untrue, that this was all fake news, that in fact his rights were honored, and in fact they provided an ECG which is above and beyond the usual practice. Yes, Senator Estrada, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Let it be known that I am not protecting or I am not defending anyone, much less the former president of the Republic of the Philippines, President Duterte, since I am an ally of this administration led by President Bongbong Marcos, and at the same time a friend of Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Now, since you've been asking the questions addressed to General Torre, may I ask General Torre, how did you think did you handle the arrest of former President Duterte properly?
Yes, sir, I do, sir. It's proper.
It was proper. But when I saw the video, it was really, for me as a citizen of this country, it was really unbelievable. It was a very, very big disappointment. Because I can relate, General. Because when we were arrested, way back 2001, together with my father, the same thing happened. All right, we were in the wee hours of the morning. We were the policemen barged in our hospital room at the Veterans Memorial Hospital. They were arresting us. They wanted us to be transferred to another detention cell because after the May 1 siege, at ano sabi ng mga police? Kalad ka rin na yan mga yan pag ayaw sumama. And at the same time, when I saw the video, parang nag-flashback sa akin yung ginawa ng mga kapulisan ng araw sa amin. At ang sabi mo, hihilahin ko yan, hihilahin ko yan. Is that what you said, General Torre?
Sir, it's already all optics and tactics already because it's already.
I'm asking you, did you say that? Hihilahin ko, hihilahin
Yes,
ko.
sir, and I actually made good of it, sir.
No, what prompted you to say that?
Sir, I made good of it, sir. Sabi ko, sir, hihilain ko yan. And I went back to Aegis Medialdea, handcuff him.
Bakit mo nga sinasabi? You know that your statements, based on the video, may reflect the PNP as an institution. Baka sabihin lahat ng ating mga kababayan, ganyan pala yung mga pulis. Masyadong wala man lang respeto sa matanda, sa isang dating pangulo. Ganon din ang ginawa sa amin eh. Can you justify why you said that hihilahin ko yan? Nakita ko si dating Pangulong Duterte, di man lumalaban. What prompted you to say that?
Mr. Senator, respectfully, the threat of hihilahin ko na yan was not towards the president, the former president. It was ensued after a heated argument between his counsel and General Torre. In no way was the former president threatened with bodily harm.
Yes,
who was addressing the sinong sinasabihan ni General Torre? Was it the lawyer or was it the former President Duterte?
Lawyer, sir, Attorney Medialdea. And actually, sir, after that, I actually went back to him, placed handcuff on him after reading him his rights and arrested him for obstruction of justice. And after that, sir, I brought him to the bus and came back again and told Attorney Delgra he's next. And again, sir, I will reiterate with all credits goes to the former president because after he saw that I'm already very, very serious in bringing him to the plane, he said, okay, let's go. And I told Romy, the PSG, to just escort him, and he went voluntarily to the bus that brought him to the plane.
Sisingit lang ako Senator Jinggoy. Kasi binabasa ko dito yung standard operating ng PNP. Ang liwaliwanag naman no torture, no force, no violence, threat, intimidation, or other means to vitiate the free will to be used against the arrested person. Di the more so, yung mga kasamahan ng arestado. Sabi mo nga, ikaw na nag-admit forcefully. Talagang you used force. Bawal po yun.
Ma'am, it is, I placed E.S. Mijaldea under arrest for obstruction of justice.
Sabi nga ni Senator Jinggoy, hihilain mo pa.
Yes, ma'am. I did. Because I have to get into their heads to make them, to make it very, very clear to them that we are already very, very serious of loading the President to the plane.
General, pinapaliwanag mo, pero bawal ang paggagamit ng dahas, ng pananakot, ng intimidation, or any other means. Ang liwanag nasa kapulisan yan
Just to be clear, operationally, there was obstruction of justice. It was the decision call of General Torre to place him under arrest for obstruction of justice. Now let us separate what happened to the President.
You're talking about Attorney Medialdea.
Yes, ma'am.
Paano yung iba?
No one else was armed, ma'am.
Yung attorney.
No, wait.
Yung abogado.
If I may, Senator Amy.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Ayan.
Sino yung kinaladkad nung isang pulis?
Yung security na nakaitim.
I think it was General Torre na hinila yung isang abogado.
Dalawa yun yung abogado, hinila yung upuan, di ba? Tapos yung nakaitim na secure, kinaladkad din.
Si Attorney Del Gracer, because he is next to be arrested. And because of that, the former President PRRD saw that I'm already that serious. And he said, he prevented the situation from further deteriorating and escalating. So he said, let's go.
Isn't he entitled to a counsel of his choice, General?
Yes, sir. For 12 hours, he was there.
Oh. Can't he speak to his client? Bigla niyo na lang...
They are there for 12 hours, sir, speaking to each other.
Ano?
They are there for 12 hours, speaking to each other, sir.
One more thing that I noticed in the video, no? Ang sabi ni PRRD, papasukin niyo yung anak ko. Abogada siya. At ang sinabi mo, hindi ko siya papapasukin. Why not, General Torre?
That is a decision. That is my call, sir. That is my decision. Considering that he had already been assisted by 3 lawyers all throughout that time, sir. And gabi na ho yun, sir. The request was made at around mga 9 o'clock na, sir. 11 hours after the first arrest.
Tanggalin mo na yung titulo ni Inday Sara. Kalimutan mo na siya na Vice President siya. Pagpalagay natin hindi siya Vice President. She is an immediate member of the family. Nung kami po ay nakakulong, ang immediate members of the family, 24 hours pwede bumisita sa amin, nakakulong kami. Ito hindi pa nakakulong. Anak ito. Bakit hindi niyo pinapasok?
Maliban doon, is this not a violation of RA 7438 that requires that you guarantee access to an attorney in addition to the immediate family? The President also said na yung anak niya, yung babae, abogado ko yun, papasukin nyo. Hindi nyo pinapasok. Abogado yun eh.
Actually, sir, first to answer the question of Senator Estrada, sir. I have told the President that they can visit him at his detention facility because at this time the order of the day is to load him into a plane. So that's what we endeavor to do, and that's what happens, sir.
Ano niya bibisitahin yung tatay niya sa Netherlands? Hindi naman dito tinray eh. Hindi naman dito kinasuhan eh. Sa ibang bansa eh. Oh. Bakit hindi niyo man lang binigyan ng kortesiya yung anak na isang abogada na magkukonsulta? Katulad nga na sinabi ko kanina, yung mga nakakulong nga, 24 hours pwede bumisita ang immediate members of the family. Bakit ito hindi pa nakakulong, hindi niyo pinapasok yung anak?
Our mission at that time, sir, is to deliver him to the body who issued the warrant, sir.
Nasa batas yan. Nasa batas yan, General. Immediate members of the family, lawyers, priests, etc., etc. I should know. Nanggaling ako dyan. Tapos ito, hindi naman nakakulong. Again, I am not defending President Duterte. I'm just explaining the rights of an accused. Because naging akusado rin ako. And I don't want that to happen to anybody else. Dapat naman nagbigay kayo ng konting kortesiya o respeto man lang sa mga dating presidente dahil naranasan namin yan. Nung kinulong po yung tatay ko, ganun din. Kung walang respeto ang mga pulis sa amin. Porket nawala ba kami sa kapangyarihan, ganun na lang? Eh matanong ko naman sa'yo, General, wag naman po sana mangyari, God forbid, sa pag sinapit ng ni President, pag sumapit ng ganitong sitwasyon si Presidente Marcos, gagawin mo rin ba yun sa kanya? I hope not.